Hello friends, welcome to Oliveboard. I hope you are all doing well and your exam preparations are going good too. In today's video, we are going to cover the current affairs section, for which we will be covering the important headlines for today, which is the 7th of August. Stay tuned to Oliveboard to not miss any videos from our end. So please do subscribe to our channel. The first important headline for today is that India and China unite to seek cuts in developed nations' farm subsidies. So we, that is India and China together, are going to the WTO, which is World Trade Organization, and we are trying to seek the cuts which these developed countries are taking and giving as farm subsidies to their farmers. So it is a joint proposal to the WTO, and we are suggesting a formula so that these developed countries can gradually reduce and eventually eliminate the subsidies which they are providing to their farmers. And this is agreed under the multilateral trade rules. Multilateral is when more than two countries are coming together for trade purposes. So we have proposed that the developed economies like US, European Union, Canada, etc. should do away with $160 billion worth trade distorting farm subsidies. So this 160 billion dollars worth amount is what they are giving to their farmers as subsidies. Now since they are already developed and they have really high mechanical tools which they are using for their agricultural purposes, their farmers do not really need these subsidies, and this is leading to a trade distortion in the world market. So together we and China are requesting WTO to request these countries to eventually eliminate this. One point to be noted here is the headquarters of WTO, which is located at Geneva, Switzerland. It is a very proud moment for India because the under 20 football team has defeated Argentina. So this was a 2-1 and Anwar Ali scored a belter. So we've really performed well and we have defeated the 6 times World Cup champions Argentina under 20. Our football team coach is Floyd Pinto. Government eyes ways to block social networking platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp. This is not forever, only during the emergency times. But as we see that we have a fundamental right of speech and expression. So whenever government tries to uh, block such social networking platforms, they infringe upon our fundamental rights. So the Department of Telecommunications has asked the internet service providers as to how they can take steps to block these social networking platforms during the emergency, because sometimes there is fake news which is spread through these networks. So government wants to control that. Now this can be done under the section 69A of Information Technology Act. So this 69A section authorizes the central government or any officer which is authorized by it to issue directions to block information on the internet in the name of sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of the country, security of the state, friendly relations with other foreign states, or to maintain public order. So please remember all of these under which the government can take this step. Now we see time and again in certain states like Rajasthan, few days back only the government had blocked the internet for around 3 hours, and in Jammu and Kashmir also we see that such things happen very frequently. So keep a note of this. The Telecom Commission chairman is Aruna Sundarajan. The veteran Congress leader R.K. Dhawan just passed away. He was of the age 81. Now he was a close confidant of our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and he had joined Indira Gandhi's office in the year 1962 and remained with her till her assassination on October 31st, 1984. Please remember, Indira Gandhi was the only female Prime Minister we had in India. The Parliament has passed Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2018. So, any person who is found raping girls who are below the age of 12 years would be given a minimum jail term of 20 years. If it is very heinous in nature, they can also be given life term jail or death sentence too. And this will now replace the criminal law ordinance. Now, as we know that ordinances are passed by the president, so our president Ramnath Kovindji had passed this ordinance on April 22nd. So whenever the parliament is not working, the president has the power to pass an ordinance if it is urgent in nature. So the union cabinet had recommended the president to pass this ordinance. Now since the bill has been passed by the parliament, the ordinance will come to an end, and this has been done under the POSCO Act, which is Protection of Children from Sexual Offences. Malaysia eyes Gujarat to attract more tourists. The United Nations World Trade Organization has assessed that the total number of tourists in the year 2020 will reach 20 million, and they will spend around 28 billion US dollars, which is a huge amount. So Malaysia wants to increase its tourist potential and hence has interacted with Ahmedabad tour operators to increase their tourist numbers. Now, as per the tour operators who are based in Ahmedabad, Gujarat accounts for the highest outbound Indian tourists in the country. Hence, these people, which is MATA, that is Malaysian Tourist Promotion Board, has reached out to the tour operators in Ahmedabad to increase their sales. United Nations World Trade Organizations is headquartered at Madrid, Spain. India and Thailand begin 2-week military exercise. Now, the Indian Army and the Thailand Army will conduct this military exercise called Maitri. Please remember the term Maitri because it is asked in the question directly. So, this will enhance coordination between the two armies, and they will conduct various drills on how they can deal in case of terrorism attacks to both the countries. And one point to be remembered here is that the Chief of Indian Army Staff is General Bipin Rawat. The Kolkata man tops IQ World Competition. So 43-year-old Amit Sahai. Please remember his name as it can be asked in the examination. So Amit Shahi is a IT and sales professional from Kolkata. He is born and brought up in Kolkata and has got a score of 148 in the IQ test. So this IQ test is conducted by IQ World LLC, which is based in United States. So they act as a recruiting agency for various companies who want to test the IQ knowledge of the people they are recruiting. So IQ is nothing but the human intelligence which they test. The center has set up a group of ministers which is headed by our Trade Minister Suresh Prabhu to decide on RCEP talks. RCEP is Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Now this is a proposed free trade agreement between ASEAN, which has 10 countries and 6 Asia Pacific states, which are Australia, India, China, Japan, South Korea and New Zealand. So as we know that this comprehensive free trade agreement wants to eliminate all trade barriers in goods, but they are reluctant in including services into it. But as we are a nation which exports a lot of services, so we want the services also to be included in this free trade agreement, but the other countries are reluctant to include services. Hence we've created this group of ministers committee, which is 4 in number, headed by Suresh Prabhuji, to see if we should continue with these talks or we should not. On 30th and 31st of August, ministerial meet would be held at Singapore to just talk about the strategies with respect to these talks. Government is in talks with RBI to relax capital norms for banks. So as we know that there is Basel III norms which the RBI wants the banks to follow. So according to the Basel III norms, the common equity tier 1 ratio, which is the capital requirement, should be 5.5% of risk weighted assets against the 4.5% under Basel norms. So the Basel norm says that 4.5% of the risk weighted assets should be kept aside as tier 1 capital, but the RBI has made it more stringent and wants the banks to keep 5.5% of that ratio. So the government is requesting RBI to reduce that, because this will save around 60,000 crore of capital, which can be used by these banks to fuel in more money in terms of investment, and it will also bolster weaker banks because they can also lend more money to the investors, and will also reduce pressure on the government to infuse more capital into the banks. That's all we have for you in today's video. I hope you liked the video. Please do share this video with your friends so they also do not miss on the current affairs part. If you have not subscribed to our Oliveboard channel yet, please go ahead and hit the button now. Hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great day.